Hi, now in today's video lecture we will go through valence bond theory. Right, before this video lecture we were done with VSEPR theory, and before that we did Levi's concept, right? So now let's just recall what all we did there. Firstly, valence bond theory. When we talk about valence bond, mainly this word valence bond is taken from because the bonding between any two atoms is the result of valence electrons, right? So this is the valence bond theory that will explain us how bonding between two atoms takes place based on the valence electrons, right? Based on the interaction of valence electrons of interacting atoms, right? And we know that these electrons, right, are in orbitals. We have done this in structure of atoms, that these electrons are actually in orbitals, right? And the concept of orbitals is taken from wave mechanical model of atom, right? Just remember this sequence so that it is easy to understand or to clear the concept what we are doing in a moment, right? So these electrons which are interacting, which are present in the valence shell, right? In the valence shell, actually they are present in the orbitals, right? So when the two atoms come close to one another in order to form a bond, it is actually these orbitals containing electrons that will interact, right? So this valence bond theory is based on orbital interaction, right, which is based on your wave mechanical model of atom. Orbital interaction, when we are talking about orbital, this is based on your wave mechanical model of atom, right? So let me just write quickly. Valence bond theory, this is bond formed as a result of valence shell electrons, or let me just write it like this: bond formed as a result of interaction between orbitals. To be precise, these are valence orbitals. Interaction between orbitals containing electrons, right? And this orbitals, concept of orbital was taken from this is taken from quantum mechanical or wave mechanical model of atom. Wave mechanical model of atom, right? So valence bond theory is in a way is based on wave mechanical model of atom, right? To understand wave mechanical model of atom, if you have any doubts on this, you can go in my playlist on structure of atom. There you will find the wave mechanical model of atom or the concept of wave mechanical model of atom, right? So this is a suggestive video that you should go through if you are not clear on the wave mechanical model of atom, or if you are not clear on the concept of orbitals, right? So in valence bond theory, basically we would be studying the interaction of orbitals, right, containing valence electrons, right? When two atoms are actually coming close to one another, right, their electrons interact. There is, in the covalent bond formation, there is sharing of electrons. When this share, actually these electrons are in orbitals, right? So these orbitals are undergoing interaction. There is what we term that we will be using is orbital overlap. The orbital of one atom containing electron will interact with orbital of another atom containing electron, right, to form a covalent bond, right? So this is how what it is based on. So before this, the first thing that we did was Levi's concept, right? And Levi's concept never told us anything about it, just told us how single bond and double bond is getting formed, right? But when sharing of electron takes place, right, between interacting electrons, right, or the number of electrons that are getting shared between interacting atoms, right? It never told us anything about the bond dissociation energy, right? When two atoms are interacting, right, or when two atoms are combining to form a molecule, it does not told us anything about the energy of the bond, right? It does not talk about the bond energy or the bond length, right? It just told us how the sharing of electron takes place, and it just cleared us our concept of bond pair and lone pair of electrons, right? So that was not much detailed. It did not talk much about the interaction of two atoms, right, and how actually the bond formation is taking place, right, and the energy consideration when a bond formation is taking place, right? So this was not much detailed, right? This is not much informative, Levi's concept, right? It just talked about sharing of electrons, right, to form covalent bond. After this came your VSEPR theory. VSEPR theory mainly dealt with the shapes of molecules, right? Because the shapes of these molecules was not explained by Levi's concept. Shape of any molecule was not concept or explained by the first Levi's concept. So the shape of the molecule, to be precise, the shape of some simple molecules, not complicated molecules, right? Shapes of some simple molecules was explained by VSEPR theory. It told us about the shapes of some simple molecules, right? Simple molecules like PCl5, methane, right, SF4, all these molecules we did in previous video lecture. Now it could not explain the shapes of some complicated molecules, right? It explained the shapes of only simple molecules, right? So this was its limitations. This is one of the limitations of VSEPR theory. Now in order to overcome whatever things could not be explained by the Levi's concept and VSEPR theory, because both these concepts never talked anything about the energy considerations. It never took the energy considerations into account when the interaction of atoms is taking place to form a molecule, right? And it never told us anything about the bond length, right? When a molecule is formed, what is bond length, right? And how stable is molecule based on the energy, right? And how energy changes are taking place when two atoms are interacting, right? So all these problems were solved by two theories, right? All these problems were solved by two theories. One is VBT that we would be doing in this video lecture. The other is MOT. This is your valence bond theory and this is your molecular orbital theory, right? And both these theories are based on quantum or wave mechanical model of atom. Quantum or wave mechanical model of atom, right? So Levi's concept, it talked about just sharing of electrons. VSEPR just talked about shapes of some simple molecules. Then to resolve to explain what has not been explained by these two theories, VBT, that is valence bond theory, and molecular orbital theory came into picture, and both these theories are based on quantum or wave mechanical model of atom. So when we say quantum or wave mechanical model of atom, we would be looking at the orbital interaction. We are talking about orbitals, right? When a molecule is getting formed from atoms, how orbitals are getting interacted, right, of combining atoms, right? So this is your orbital interaction. When we are talking about wave mechanical model, in both these theories we would be looking at the orbital interactions, right? Atomic orbital in case of VBT and molecular orbitals in case of MOT, right? We will be doing this in future lectures in detail. Now let's come to valence bond theory. right? Valence bond theory, this was first introduced, this VBT, this was introduced by Hitler and London, right? This theory was introduced by Hitler and London and later developed by Pauling, right? So this VBT, this was developed by Hitler and London, right? They are scientists, and later developed by Pauling, right? Now, in order to understand valence bond theory, let's take the example of formation of hydrogen molecule, right? And since I said that this theory, valence bond theory, is based on the wave mechanical model of atoms, so we would be dealing with, in valence bond theory, right? In valence bond theory, we would be dealing with atomic orbitals, right? Overlapping of atomic orbitals, like I defined here, overlapping of orbitals, right? And you should, in order to understand the VBT, you should be good with electronic configuration of atoms, right? You, in order to draw the orbital diagrams, right, or in order to understand how orbital interaction is taking place, before doing that you should know how to write the electronic configuration in terms of S, P, D and F, right? Because why electronic configuration should be written in orbital or orbital notation, like we write 1s2 2s2 2p6, because in VBT it is orbital interaction, right? And these electrons, when we talk about electronic configuration, we are writing how electrons are distributed in various shells and orbitals, right? And when covalent bond formation is taking place, exchange of electrons in the valence shell is taking place, and these electrons are actually present in orbitals, right? So you should know how electrons are distributed in orbitals before you go ahead and learn the interaction of those orbitals, right? So you should be good with the electronic configuration, overlapping of orbitals and your atomic orbitals, right? Now let's consider the formation of hydrogen molecule, right? Formation of hydrogen molecule, H2 molecule, right? Hydrogen. Since I said you should know the electronic configuration, let's just look what things we already know, right? Before reading valence bond theory, what all things we have already done in atomic structure, right? That could help us understand or know what is orbital interaction and how bond formation is taking place through orbital interaction. This is your hydrogen, electronic configuration is 1s1, right? And if you look at hydrogen molecule actually consists of 2 hydrogen atoms, right? So let's see how orbitals interact on these 2 hydrogen atoms to form hydrogen molecule, right? So first thing, before we go ahead and look into orbital interaction, we should know electronic configuration, right? So this is the electronic configuration. This is for one hydrogen atom, and for second it is 1s1 again, right? So we know that when, right, these 2 hydrogen atoms, right, are unstable, right, so they will try to acquire 1 electron, they will share. This is how we used to do 1 electron right here, and 1 electron is with this hydrogen atom, the other is with this hydrogen atom, they both combine, right, to form hydrogen molecule, right, where this is the overlapping region, right, or these hydrogen atoms share 1 electrons, right, to form this hydrogen molecule. actually these 1 hydrogen electron is present in the s orbital. This is the s orbital, right? And when this interaction takes place, it is actually these two orbitals that are overlapping, right? We know that s orbitals from wave mechanical model are spherical, right? So orbital of this hydrogen atom will overlap with this hydrogen atom. We'll look into the orbital or the overlapping concept in detail, right? So when these two orbitals overlap, these electrons, right, would be present in this overlapping region, right? So this overlapping region, this is the overlapping region due to which the bond gets formed between hydrogen molecule, right? And stronger or more is the overlapping region, stronger is the bond, right? Because this electron for maximum time would be in the overlapping region, right? And this is your nuclei, and both these nuclei will attract this, the electron in the overlapping region, right? Due to which these two atoms are intact in hydrogen molecule, right? So let's just look at hydrogen molecule. So when two hydrogen atoms, right, this is your hydrogen atom, right? Here you have EB and your EA. Suppose this is HA, let's say this is nuclei Na and Nb, right? Each of this hydrogen atom contains one electron. Electron in on for one hydrogen atom is denoted by Ea and the nuclei is Na. Similarly, on the second hydrogen atom, it is Eb, electron, and your nuclei is Nb. Now, when these two atoms, we would be looking at how bond formation is actually taking place based on valence bond theory, right? So when these two atoms will come close to one another, right, when these two atoms will come close to one another, what interactions are taking place when these two atoms approach one another to form hydrogen molecule, right? So there are attractive interactions, right, and there are repulsive interactions, right? So attractive interaction is first between nuclei of this hydrogen atom and its own electron, right? It's like this, Ea and Na, right? And attractive interaction between nuclei of this atom and electron of this, its own electron, Eb and Nb, right? And second attractive interaction is between electrons of this atom and nuclei of this atom, right? And electron of this atom and nuclei of this atom, right? It's like this, Ea, electron of A and nuclei of B, right? And nuclei, electron of B and nuclei of A, right? These are attractive interactions that take place. When two hydrogen atoms approach one another, right? Similarly, you have repulsive interaction or repulsive forces, right, that is taking place between two hydrogen atoms, which is your EA-EB, right, which would be, if you just look at the repulsive interactions, when we talk about repulsive interactions, we mean interaction between, repulsion will take place when similarly charged bodies interact, right? So here repulsive interaction would be due to, just give some space, repulsive interaction is between electron of this and electron of second hydrogen atom, right? And the second interaction, repulsive interaction, would be Na and Nb, right? Now let's talk about bond formation, right? A bond formation will take place since these two hydrogen atoms are getting attracted, right, when actually a hydrogen molecule is getting formed. So here these are attractive interactions and these are repulsive interactions, right? In order for a bond to get formed, attractive interactions should be more compared to repulsive interactions, right? So these attractive interactions will try to bring these two hydrogen atoms close to one another to form hydrogen molecule, whereas these repulsive interactions will try to repel these hydrogen molecules, right, apart from one another, right, and will not favor the bond formation, right? So this attractive interaction will favor the bond formation, whereas this repulsive interaction will not favor the bond formation, right? So this will not favor bond formation, right, whereas this attractive interactions will favor bond formation, right? Now if in order for bond to get formed, for bond formation, these attractive interactions, attractive forces, let's say, should be greater than repulsive forces, right? Attractive forces should be greater than repulsive forces. If you look at the attractive forces here, we have more attractive forces, right, between electrons and nuclei of individual hydrogen atoms and between electrons and nuclei of other hydrogen atoms, right? We have in total 4 attractive interactions. Here we have 4 attractive interactions and repulsive interactions are 2, right, between electrons and nuclei. So when two hydrogen atoms approach one another, attractive interactions, right, overpowers repulsive interactions, right? Since attractive interaction overpowers repulsive interaction, a bond formation takes place, right, between hydrogen atoms, right? So two hydrogen atoms, right, will form bond, right, due to attractive interaction being greater than repulsive interaction, right? Now let's understand how attractive interaction will result into bond formation, right? We know that whenever there is attractive interaction, in attractive interaction, energy is released, right? Energy is released in attractive interaction. So energy of this system will come down, right? And we know that when energy will come down, it will favor stability, right? Lesser is the energy, more is the stability, right? So since in this attractive interaction, due to this attractive interaction, energy is getting released, right, which will bring the energy to a minimum, right, or it will decrease the energy of the system since it will result into release of energy, right? So due to this attractive interaction, it will favor the bond formation. Whereas if you talk about repulsive interaction, when two similarly charged bodies interact, they will try to repel one another, and due to repulsion, the energy of the system increases, right? When the energy increases, the stability will decrease, right? That is why repulsive interaction will not favor the bond formation, right? So I'll write attractive interaction, attractive forces will result into release of energy, thereby stabilizing the bond, right? Whereas repulsive forces will increase the energy, right, thereby decreasing the stability, and it will increase the energy, right, and decrease the stability, will decrease the stability, right. That is why it will not favor the bond formation, right. So why bond formation takes place between two hydrogen atoms? One reason is attractive interaction exceeds the repulsive interactions, right. Now, when these two hydrogen atoms will approach one another, right, attractive interactions are more, right, so release of energy will take place, right, energy will keep on releasing, right, so energy of the system will keep on decreasing, stability will keep on increasing, and when these molecules are coming close, there is repulsive interactions as well, which are less, right, but it will keep on increasing when these atoms will start coming close to one another, right. So repulsive interactions are increasing, right, so energy is decreasing due to repulsive energy is increasing due to repulsive interaction and is decreasing due to attractive interactions, right. So when these two hydrogen atoms approach one another, right, at one point, the attractive interactions will balance the repulsive interactions, they are exactly equal, right, and at that point where these attractive interactions will balance the repulsive interaction, the bond formation will result, right, and it is at that point when both these forces will balance each other that this orbital interaction is actually taking place. At that point, these orbitals, these 1s orbitals will overlap with one another, they interpenetrate, right, because these orbitals are nothing but these are waves, right, these are electron clouds. So at this distance of approach where the attractive interactions will balance the repulsive interactions, these orbitals will interpenetrate, right, or these orbitals will overlap with one another, right, to form a chemical bond, right, and the energy that is released at this point, right, is known as your bond enthalpy, right. So more is the energy released, the stable is the molecule, right. This is important to consider, to understand. When these two atoms, right, are at this distance, right, where attractive forces will balance the repulsive forces, due to attractive interactions the energy is releasing, so the energy released till that point, right, where these two forces balance, right, that energy is known as your bond enthalpy or the bond energy, right, and it is this energy, right, that you need to give in case you want to dissociate hydrogen molecule into hydrogen atoms, right. So more is the energy released, right, more is the energy released, more stable would be the molecule. So more stable would be the molecule, more energy you have to give in order to break the molecule, right. So at this point the energy released, right, energy released is your bond enthalpy, this energy is your bond enthalpy, right, and the distance between two hydrogen nuclei at this point where these forces balance each other is your bond length, right. So distance between two hydrogen atoms at this point where the forces balance each other is your bond length, right. So this is how this orbital concept or this valence bond theory explains us the concept of bond enthalpy and bond length. In case of hydrogen, this bond length is 74 pm, right. I hope this is clear, right. So this is how everything is clear, right. We can understand this on graph also there is a small graph, right? We'll just do this in 5-6 minutes in another video lecture, right? We'll just do the graph in another video lecture. Thanks.